The Learning Journey, in association with Turn It Up Tuesday, hosted by Ross Audio, is pleased to present Did You Know? It was once and still is the envy of many countries across the world. While many believe that Africans did not do enough to fight against their oppressors, this is far from the reality. The history taught in the Caribbean and United States often forget to include historical elements that would make us proud. In this presentation, I would like us to explore the Kingdom of Dahomey, located in West Africa, now called the Benin region. The Kingdom of Dahomey was well organized, in which the king was the head, operating a semi-divine role. In the Dahomey Kingdom, there were female warriors. They were called the Dahomey Amazon. A Western observer attached the term Amazon to the name, adding again their colonized twist. The females in the army were made up of volunteer participants from the Dahomey population and at times foreign captives. The female soldiers were not allowed to have children or to engage in family life. One writer stated that the warriors were all married to the king. However, he did not engage in any physical contact with them. Hence, they remained untouched for the rest of their lives. It should be noted that if any man in the kingdom wanted to get married to a woman of his choice, he would need to send the wife-to-be to the king. On viewing the wife-to-be, the king could decide to take her in his army. If the king decided that this woman should join his army, that would be the end of the man's quest for love. The man in love would have to stay back regardless of his feelings. Just imagine how some men must have felt in the kingdom. I won't stop to ask what you would do if you were in such a situation. Serving as a woman warrior created opportunity to allow women to be placed in positions of power and influence. These women had wealth and commanded respect. It is said that each warrior had a set of slaves. While the soldiers were cared for, they worked hard. They trained consistently and intensively. They were also versed at hand-to-hand combat, and they knew how to survive. They could complete the most challenging military drills set upon them. The women soldiers were also the king's bodyguards, and the group was made up of various specialisms, including musket experts, archers, and others. For the record, I must highlight that the Dahomey Kingdom was connected to slavery. The women warriors of the Dahomey Kingdom engaged in many battles and were victorious in fighting their internal opponents. Unknowing to them that the biggest threat was external. Yes, external, because in the middle of the 1800s, the external forces set their eyes on Africa. They labeled Africa as the Dark Continent. After slavery was abolished in many Western regions, many believed that Africa was the new road for exploitation. Therefore, a meeting was held, and Africa was divided. Who on earth could have divided a continent that was not their own? This move organized the division of Africa by Europeans and was called the Scramble for Africa, and it lasted from 1881 to 1914. While the French made inroads into the region, the Dahomey Kingdom continued its raids on other kingdoms. And when King Tofa took over Porto Novo in the 1800s, he requested protection from the French. And although they had the protection from the French, the Dahomey Kingdom continued to mesmerize this kingdom. The Dahomey Kingdom continued its raids. A significant incident took place, and the wars started. The brave female warriors made a significant impact on French soldiers. One soldier wrote that he had seen so many of his friends beheaded by one swing during the battle. One French soldier stated that he had seen another French soldier knock the weapon from a female warrior, only to have her take the soldier to the ground and rip his throat with her teeth. One writer stated that between 1890 And 1894, the Dahomey Kingdom had over 24 battles with the French. I am sure they won some of these battles. Hence the number 24. You could not continue fighting if you were not victorious. However, as always, the oppressor's account would suggest otherwise. The Dahomey warriors had old weapons. The reality is that the wars were not sustainable with the weapons they had. In the end, again, a country in Europe had devastated another country external to them in their selfish conquest. It is believed that after the wars, only 50 of the 6,000 warriors survived. What I found strange as I researched this topic is that the information on the Dahomey Amazon warriors seemed to come mainly from the white perspective. In addition, while the last warrior died in the 1970s, I could not locate an interview. However, I searched the New York Times and came across a story by Frederick Martin published in 1912. The title of the article is "Women Fought in the Battle Against Foreign Legions." In this article, Frederick clarifies that these women were more deadly than the males. He stated that he admired their bravery and their military skills. He also describes one dead warrior. He states the dead Amazon was a handsome and beautiful proportioned young lady, and her head bore an exceptionally mild and peaceful expression, utterly at variance with a bloodthirsty looking machete. She had a massive ring made of particularly brassy looking West African gold on the second finger of her left hand. He also had the nerve to rob the dead. He goes on to say, not having any scruples of robbing a dead enemy, I took the possession of the ring. In Jamaica we would say, old thief. The Dahomey Kingdom and its female warriors represent one of the last stands against imperialism. To conquer the continent of Africa, they had to divide and conquer various sections of this continent. We should celebrate the Dahomey female warriors, as seen in the movie The Woman King. This time the story is being told from a black perspective, one in which we are all victorious. If you have not watched this movie, please do so. Today Africa has so many resources, and again it is the envy of many countries. But this time, Africa must keep these resources and avoid exploitation from the outsiders who are after their critical raw materials. Let me end on a lighter note. Just imagine for a moment that you're living in the Dahomey Kingdom in the 1800s. The king then requires all men who want to get married to send their intended bride-to-be to him. Knowing that the king could demand that your intended bride join his army, what would you do? For the ladies listening in, would you present yourself to the king? Or you decide otherwise? Well, that's all for now. Over to you, Rossi.